What's up, everyone? We're back here in Tempe, 1 week away from opening night. I'm here with Scottsdale League Coordinator Borin and Tempe League Coordinator Jovan. Hope everyone had a nice break, but we're excited to get started. Yep. So a couple new things this season. We're gonna plan on having a 16-team playoff. We're gonna do the top 8 teams from Scottsdale and the top 8 teams from Tempe. You're probably wondering who's going to get home court. Well, we're going to do the top 4 seeds in each club will have home court. So the top 4 seeds in Scottsdale will have home court, and the top 4 seeds in Tempe will have home court for the first round of the playoffs. Also, another thing we plan on doing is we're going to have an all-star game after the championship game, where we're going to select the top 10 players from Scottsdale and the top 10 players from Tempe. So it should be a lot of fun. We'll probably do that after the championship game.
Let them know about the jerseys as well for sale.
Oh yeah. Also another thing for Tempe is we're gonna have 30 jerseys on hand for sale at $34.99 each. So you guys don't have to reuse the jerseys this year.
And if you don't. Online.
Yeah, it's cheaper than online. Yeah, it's instead of paying $40, you can buy them for $34.99. We'll have those by week 2 or 3, I believe. So if you're interested in getting a jersey, just make sure you let me know. And yep, and we'll get you guys a jersey. You guys got any thoughts before we jump into this power rankings?
No thoughts. We're ready for this season. It's gonna be fun. Now that we got Scottsdale League going, we're gonna have a little competitive edge going against Scottsdale as well as Tempe going against each other. It's gonna be fun. So I'm excited.
How about you, Borin? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. If this season will be as good as last one, it'll be really good. I think last year, with the last second shot, you couldn't ask for anything better. So now that we've got 2 different teams now, 2 different clubs, I think it's just be that much exciting, that much more exciting.
Instead of 8. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Last year was a blast. This will be just as good.
Should be fun. All right, we'll start with Tempe since we're a little bit more familiar with Tempe. Scottsdale's in still the first season, but we'll go with this power rankings for Tempe first. We have the Bulls, preseason ranked number 1. They made some key additions, adding Tyler Lambram from the Monstars, and also 6'5" Mike Shortley to the team as well. So, on paper, to me, that's the most stacked team.
Yeah, those are the additions they needed to make. I believe Tyler was probably the best addition for their team. Being short on bigs, he's gonna recreate the rebounding they need, as well as he's a good runner. And I mean, a big that runs on their team is what they needed, and he runs and he can finish. So it's gonna be fun to see him play along with Mark and that fast-paced team.
What do you think, Borin?
No, I agree. I mean, they're the defending champions, so you got to give them the best. I mean, they didn't lose anybody, and they added a good free agent in Tyler, who's an athletic big. He's actually active big. He's not just a big, plodding big guy. He's active. He gets his steals, rebounds. So having that asset along with the championship mentality already, that's a hard team to beat right there. If they don't make it to a championship preseason-wise, that's a disappointment.
Championship or bust, basically. Yep. So, yeah. Coming in number 2, we have Nick Tomsick, league's MVP from last season, and the Splash Brothers coming from Scottsdale. What do you think?
You know what? If they have a mindset like Nick, I think they'll play great. Nick's a great player. He plays as a team. He gets his shots and gets his players involved like last season. I think they're be. I haven't seen their team yet. Really, all I know on their roster is Nick that's played. Maybe I play with a few other ones, but other than that, I think if they play like Nick and Nick takes the lead on this team, they'll do okay.
You know, they were my favorite to win it all this season, but then Mark Price went down with a big injury this season, so he's not coming back till next season. I think without a big man right now, I'm not sure how they're going to do. What do you think?
No, so I think putting them number 2 is a credit to how good Nick is. I mean, he took who's next from like an 0-4 team to the 2nd place in the championship game. So we're giving Nick a lot of credit, which is well-deserved. But if they had Mark Price, I would have probably pushed him to number 1. But that's going to be a big loss. But I think they've got some good pieces. I think Chris plays well. They've got some new additions that I still want to see play, see how they play together. But giving the league MVP, Nick Tomczyk, that much credit, I think that's how good he is. So I think number 2 is a good spot for them. Mark Price would have put him over the top, but we'll see how they play at the end of the season.
So we have number 3 coming in, the Monstars from Gilbert. We have Kenny returning, probably the MVP runner-up. I think most would agree. Franny's back. But they lost Tyler, which I think is going to be huge for them. That's a big blow. And Quentin Lawrence will not be returning this season, so that's going to hurt them as well. What do you think?
You know what? I think if Franny's coming back with Kenny and the guards they had, I think they'll be all right. I don't know what bigs they're going to come up with. They lost Tyler, so they're obviously going to need a big, maybe even power forward if they can get one, or another fast guard. So they just play small, but I think they'll do okay. They're going to miss Quentin's athleticism, but I think they'll be all right with Fanny and Kenny running the show. It'll be good.
What do you think?
No, I agree. I think missing a talent like Q is going to be big, but I actually think it frees up Kenny a little bit more. Just because I think Kenny and Q were somewhat of the same player, and they were kind of feeding off each other, but they limited Kenny a little bit. And you saw how well Kenny played without Q last year. I mean, he went for a triple-double and 50 points without Q, so I think they'll be fine. They'll miss Tyler more than they think, because I think they've got some good additional individual talent. You got Kenny, Franny, Matt Alvarado. They got some good players, but I think as a team, cohesive-wise, they're going to be missing a few pieces, so that's why we push them down to 3.
They're right in the middle, because they're not a guard team and they're not a big team, so they got to be able to play fast as well as play big with who they got.
If they get hot, they can win, but you're right. They're right in the middle. I think I can see them as 3, 4, 5, right in that spot right there.
Yeah, it's tough to say right now. It's still early. Half these guys, we don't even know who's on the team, right? So number 4, we have Lifetime. The biggest team from last year got even bigger, adding 6'8", Alex Schmidt. And then they're also teaming up with Team Epsilon, very own Jovan Wright, and Tevin and Matt will be joining the team as well this season. What do you think about that? How do you guys think you guys are going to do?
You know what? I played against Brandon last season, and I just recently played with Alex Schmidt. He's a good big. I mean, he's played in college before. He finishes at the rim. He gets his rebounds. He finishes strong. That's all you can ask from a big guy. That's all you can ask. So if he can get to the free throw line, knock his free throws down, because he's going to get fouled, and take it up strong and do the smart thing. As a big, he's going to be great for us. And along with Brandon as well. Brandon's, I mean, probably top 5 in, as a small forward, and he's a smart player. So he's going to be fun to play with, and I'm looking forward to playing with Tevin and Matt again. It'll be fun. It'll be competitive with us.
Another guy I guys forgot is Joe Huber. He's still a free agent, and he's still looking to join a team. If you guys add Joe too,
yeah,
that'll be the biggest team
this week, and he's still thinking about it. So if we get him too, I mean, we're going to be a 6'8", 6'6", 6'4" lineup, and I mean, you get some good guard play, give the bigs the ball, we're good to go. So.
What do you think?
I think this is my sleeper team, actually, because I do like the way Brandon Morrow, Brandon Host, Sean Eddy, they played well together, I think. Some people missed some games, so they weren't really cohesive. But adding a 6'8" Schmidt, a 6'4" Jovan Wright, that's a scary team. I think if they can play together, they've got enough pieces. They've got some good size. We'll see how Alex Schmidt does, because right, he's a big guy. He's actually got good touch around the basket. He plays tough. He's got good touch, so he's pretty offensive. Brandon Hose is definitely underrated. I mean, he's a great small forward. Sean Eddy's a power, just rebounder. Gets the gritty points, gritty rebounds.
Rebound teams will be, up there.
Tevin and Matt, those are good players from the Echelon team. So I really think this is one of the sleeper teams that can make it that can make some noise. If you put it all together, play well together at the end of the season, you guys will be making noise.
Okay, so coming up next, we have number 5, Team Hashtag, led by Joseph Horms, top 3-point shooter in the league last year. We don't know too much about the team. Except Jeremiah Nelson. But other than that, we're not sure who else is on the team. But knowing Joe, he's probably going to have a pretty stacked team. Yeah. So what do you think?
That's exactly how we put Nick up there at number 2, because based off his game, we did the same thing with Joe. We didn't know anybody else on that team, but we know how Joe plays. You know how a good a shooter he is. So, the only problem is we don't know everybody else, but we didn't put them last just because Joe's that good. Great 3-point shooter, great ball handler. I'm expecting good things out of that team, just because I think Joe's a really good player, good shooter.
Yeah, for me, that's probably gonna be my sleeper team, just because I don't know who half the guy on this team is, but knowing Joe, he's gonna be stacking his team for sure.
Yeah, opening night's going to be, I mean, we might be able to turn all these all around. Every team's different now. It's not like last season. So it's going to be, I also don't know hashtag besides Joe Holmes to play with him last season. He did great. And if he could score along with get his teammates the ball, I think he could be the leader on that team and take them far, knowing how Joe plays. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see how our power rankings shape up opening night.
Because you said Joe's a scorer, but if he gets some help, if he's able to distribute the ball like he can, that's going to be definitely a sleeper team. We could probably see them being 1 or 2 at the end of the season.
It's a big attraction on the floor. So
Okay. So coming in at 6, we have the bad guys, led by James Braxton and Josh Henderson. But they're also picking up Mike Rose from Gilbert this season, teaming up. What do you think about that addition, the big 3?
You know what? I had a good relationship with James, Josh. You know what? They're great guys, and they play hard. They were on a free agent team last season, so you didn't get to really see them play. But if they get on a good team and they play good, Mike Rose, if he plays point guard, Josh and James play the 2 and 3. It's gonna be a great guard lineup because they're all big, especially Mike Rose and Josh and James. They're all pretty stocky, so that's probably gonna be the biggest guard lineup. With what they have, I think. I don't know any other. Bad guys are gonna be fun. They're gonna be really fun to watch with that guard lineup.
So what I think is the talent there is not. You can't question the talent. Josh, James, Michael, they're talented. How do they play together? That's always the key in this league. No team is short on talent. You got some good players. Have they played together before? Are they going to pass the ball? When it comes down to crunch time, are you going to be able to distribute the ball, trust each other? I don't know about these guys. These guys are, they're great individually, but you said they're on the free agent team last year, so they had to watch out for their own. Can they play cohesively together? That's the big question mark. That's why we push them down to 6. They're talented, but we just don't know.
It's going to be fun.
If they can play together, they're dangerous. But there's a chance it's going to take them 4, 5, 6 weeks to kind of get the groove on. So.
All right, so let's go down to number 7. We have Who's Next, led by Dwayne Hunter and Daryl Hunter. Dwayne's already been talking a little trash. I think we're going to match him up with Nick first week just to see how it goes.
See how it goes.
Yep.
We could.
Yep. What do you think?
You know what?
He said he's going to shut Nick down.
To be honest, I don't see that happening. But he could try. It'll be funny. It'll be fun to watch. They might have to run a zone on them. Just saying. But it's, you know what? They play well. Who's Next? They play hard. They play good defense. They're a real physical team, like a lot of teams aren't in this league. And Nick, I'm sure he left for good reasons. They left on good terms. But it's going to be fun to watch them play against each other just to see what the camaraderie is like. So.
Dwayne told me he dropped 5 pounds of fat and put on. He's back in shape. So what do you think? What do you think?
I think Dwayne will get more technicals than stops on Nick. Over/under is 1.5 technicals to stops. But no, that team's crafty because you got Daryl Hunter, who's a crafty player. He was dropping dimes left and right, getting rebounds. He wasn't scoring, but he was moving the ball around. That's the championship team there. They went to the championship game last year. Now, granted, they lost Nick and Mark. That was pretty much the bigger talent there. But they're a crafty team. Dwayne, if he's a 3-pointer, if he would have hit that 3, they would have been champions, right? So
8 seconds from a championship.
Championships.
Maybe Nick and Mark would have stayed. You never know if he would have did the shot. So
they got 4 new players. So we'll see. They're a crafty team, but I just think they're missing a couple pieces that's going to hurt them a little bit. But you can't count them out. Daryl's a good player. Veteran team to get some 3-pointers, Trey licks. So we'll see.
And then 8, I'm sorry to say, it's the free agents. We don't know anybody on the team, so it's always going to be a rough season for the free agents. Just no chemistry, bunch of guys just getting together. But there's a few guys that I think might make some noise in this league. Melvin Orji, who's going to be, he's like 6'6" center. He's going to be pretty good. Casey Day's coming back from last season. Yeah. Sidney Nelson's coming back.
I believe the free agent teams are more just to get their name out there and they get picked up the next season. So, if they play hard every game and do their best, I think the next season they might get picked up. So,
just like any team, it's not a question about talent. A lot of these guys can play. They played before. They've never played with each other. That's always the biggest question mark. Can they play together? Can they come as a team? Can they get a substitution pattern going? Do they know who to pass to? Who can make the shot? Who can? So that's the biggest question mark. It's going to take them forever. I mean, last year we saw that where the free agent teams were struggling a little bit. And, some people were getting frustrated because, you never played with somebody before. You want to get yours. You want to win. Everybody's competitive. So it's the cohesiveness, the teamwork that's the biggest key in this league.
Well, that wraps it up for our power rankings for Tempe. Scottsdale, it's their first season, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to do too much of a breakdown. We don't know much about the players, but so far we're going to have the Pink Canoes ranked number 1 preseason. They're going to be led by Travis Olson and Lance Williams. We have the Splash Brothers, who will be led by Nick Tomsick. So he'll be playing both leagues. He'll be playing both in Scottsdale and Tempe. We're going to have X over at number 3, who's going to be led by, what's his name? Chris Fisher and Fred Dudley, 5-time former champs in Scottsdale. So they're going to be a pretty good, solid team. The Phoenix Ballers will be led by Tyrone Jones, coming in at number 4. Number 5 will be the Supersonics, led by Aaron Brody and Dale Sampson. We have the Pillsbury B-Boys coming in at 6. Yep.
Sounds like it's from Scottsdale.
Yeah. They're going to be led by Kristen Christick, 3-point shooter. And we have the Time Lifers coming at 7. And then Cobra Kai, led by, from Karate Kid. Yep. Led by our very own Brent Wilson. And then we have the Scottsdale free agent team coming at 9. So we have 9 teams right now in Scottsdale. In case you guys are wondering how we're going to do it, we're going to basically have a bye week. Every team in Scottsdale will have 1 bye week. So we're going to play basically 9 weeks. Everybody still get 8 games. Everybody's going to play each other at least once. So basically, we're going to take the top 8 teams and put them in the playoffs. 1 team will not advance, unfortunately, from Scottsdale. So we're excited to get started next week. Any final thoughts, Borin?
Bulls better prove me right, prove me wrong, just prove something, man. Just show up. It'll be good. I'm excited to see Scottsdale, see some of the new talent there play. I'm excited to see the Bulls kind of hopefully repeat as champion. We'll see if they can do that. But I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a great season.
What do you think, Jovan? Any last thoughts?
Last thoughts for me, I hope to see everybody play hard, be good competitors, try their best as well as, keeping their tempers down and playing together. Because, we want to have a fun league, so we want to be competitive at most, but we also want everybody to be on the same page on that, on the competitiveness. So other than that, let's have a good league and have fun.
Cool. We'll see everybody here back Tuesday night, and we'll see Scottsdale on Thursday. Thanks, guys.